Okay. Morning. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Since we did restoratives last week, I have a little bit more of an energetic practice planned for today, but but not too energetic. It's still Christmas season, so we have to. It feels good to, maybe get some energy, or the energy out, that nervous energy out, though, by practicing yoga. So let's just turn inward for a moment. So find a nice seat. Feel your sits bones. If you can sit up nice and tall. And then just turn to your breath. So really follow the inhalation and the exhalation. I ran across a Rumi quote, which is one of my favorites. And it goes like this: the wound is the place where the light enters you. So we all have wounds or scars. And that's really, I think what he's trying to say is that's your way to allow light in. And I think it also is a place where you can shine light out from your experiences. I read about in somewhere in the Far East, when they break pottery, they put it back together and fill in the cracks with gold. And so it kind of adds to the beauty of the piece, which I really like. So think of yourself like that. If something you've been scarred or hurt or had to endure something, there's gold filled in where that happens. The light shines in and out. Please bring hands to heart center. May we all embrace those cracks that we have, because they're what makes us who we are. And we're much more able to notice the beauty and the grace that's all around us and within us as we've had these life experiences. Please lower your hands, open your eyes, and we're going to start standing this morning. So come on up to standing and just go ahead and step a little wider than hip distance apart, not too much, just so you have a really stable base. And then just let your right ear kind of fall towards your right shoulder. And roll your head around to the left shoulder. And just do that a couple times, just kind of feeling out your neck, your head. Good. And then coming back to center to start to roll your shoulders. Warm those up. You can use bigger arms if you want. And then switch directions. Just kind of notice any cracks and creaks that happen. Good. And then pause and interlace your hands in front of you. Stretch your palms forward and then stretch up. And just very gentle stretch to the right. And up and over to the left. And again to the right. And to the left. Good. And back up and then stretch your knuckles up and bring them forward. And think of tucking your chin, really rounding your upper back, but keep a long side body and stretch the knuckles forward. You feel a big stretch. Good. And then release your hands, bend your elbows, bring them wide and lift your heart up, maybe even look up. And then round again, but this time just bring your forearms together. Keep the long side body, round, and one more time, open heart. Good, and then stretch your arms up. And then pretend like you're a waterfall and just kind of fold forward in that wider stance to a forward fold. You can use your blocks if you need to have arm extenders, totally fine. And then just kind of move however it feels good here, but make sure you're grounded through all parts of your feet. So big toe mound, little toe mound, inside of heel, outside of heel. Just kind of feeling your way. And then come up like a pranam, so you have a flat back. Turn your toes out slightly. And I just want you to make sure that your kneecaps and your toes point the same direction. And then slowly come down to a deep squat. And just pause there. See how that's feeling on your knees and your hips and everything today. And then slowly come back up, forward fold, Uttanasana. And just slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, all the way back up to standing. Oh, good. Now turn towards the middle of your mat so you can take a wide stance. And you can make faces at each other across the room. And again, just feel all parts of your feet grounded. And we're just going to kind of repeat what we just did with our feet closer together. So right ear towards the right shoulder. Roll it. See how it feels different in this wider stance. Just do that a couple times. And then start to move your shoulders, kind of warm up. And all the confusion, I didn't turn on my. And switch the direction. Good, and then bring your knuckles forward, interlace. Try and do it the opposite way that you did last time. It feels really strange because you and press your palms forward, stretch up, and arc to your right. and up and over to your left. You still feel grounded through all parts of your feet, and do that one more time. Right. And left. Good. And then come on back up. Turn your knuckles forward, round, tuck your chin. Feel a big stretch between your shoulder blades. And then come on up. Open your elbows, lift your heart. And then forearms together. Open up again. Stretch your arms up. And fold forward. You might have to bend your knees to get there. Just move whatever feels good. I'm having glitches with my music too. Might have to do with that. Sway forward and back a little bit. Side to side. And now come up like a pranam again. Swivel your heels in, and you want to be really careful that your knees and your toes point the same direction. Your upper thigh extends just the way your feet do, and then come upright. Yeah, hands on knees. Good. For goddess pose. Now just kind of sway into one knee and then the other, just being really mindful with your movement. If you want to, you can lift the opposite toes. So if you're bending into your right knee, lift the left toes. Do that a few times. Feels good and creaky, right? Oh, good. And then pause. Bring hands to heart center. Good. And then press into all parts of your feet and come on up to standing. Good. Heel, toe, walk your feet together. And grab your blocks and just come on up to the front of your mat and just place them there. And then I'm going to have you come down to all fours position. We'll use the blocks in a minute. And just mindfully placing your hands under your shoulders. Remember that you want to spread the weight into your fingertips, your finger mounds, not just right at the base of your wrist. And then just take note here and just move through some cow cats. So start with your tailbone, really lengthen your spine as you come into cow. You can wiggle your tail side to side if that feels good. And then go the opposite direction and really round into a nice big cat pose in honor of Artemis. Good. And then just keep moving between the two poses at your own pace, just kind of moving and feeling as you see fit. And then pause in a flat back position and extend your right leg. So try not to lift your right hip up, keep it in the same plane as your left hip. And really draw your low belly up, your rib cage is back so you feel really stable in your core. Point and flex your foot a few times. And then if you're feeling stable enough, you can extend the left arm. So it'd be the right leg, left arm, long spine, checking in with your core. And just hold it. You can explore a little bit if you want, just moving in small ways, but keeping the core really strong. Good, and then bring the left hand down and just bring the right leg across to the left side and set the ball of your foot down. Keeping the hips square to the front, just twist and look at it's your right foot, but you're twisting left. Feel a nice stretch in the right side body. Good, and then bringing it back to center. Bring the knee down. Now just your right foot, you're gonna swivel it out to the side. The knee stays where it is. You're gonna extend your left leg long and then come up to a little side plank variation. So you're long on your mat. You're just opening your heart. Good, and then come on back in, straighten everything out, and just slide that left arm underneath your right for a little twist. Yeah, if you could, and bring yeah, both knees have to come down, sorry. I didn't. Yeah, so it's like a child's pose with a little twist. There you go, Teresa. And just kind of breathe into that. Think of maybe drawing your sternum back a little bit so you feel a stretch on your left shoulder. And then unwind, come on back up. Hands down. And think flat back, really engage the core. I like to think of keeping just a little curve in my low back because that's your natural curve, but making sure your low ribs are together. Extend the left leg. Point and flex. You don't have to lift it real high. You can just keep it in line with the sits bone. Oop, I'm leaning to the right a little bit. Just notice your tendencies. And then add the right arm if you'd like. You're feeling stable. Maybe you can reach your block and feel more stable with that. And continue to breathe. Maybe make small movements if that feels appropriate for you. I've got a box elder bug that's come to visit me. Good, and bring the hand down. Bring that left foot over to the right side, set the ball of the foot down, and just think to yourself, I'm going to keep my spine nice and long, the side body nice and long, and then twist and look at my foot. You feel a stretch in the left side. And then unwind, set the knee down, swivel the left foot off to the side, extend the right leg long, and come up to that side plank variation. Yeah, nice. Yeah, there you go. And you can bring it all the way to the side too, Donna, if you want. So you have more. So your left foot comes even further out. Yeah, so then you have more wiggle room. Good, and then come on down. Bring the knee down and slide the right arm underneath. Boy, that box elder bug really likes me. It keeps coming closer and closer. One more breath. And then unwind and go ahead and sit back to a child's pose. So extend your feet long, big toes together, and sit back. And just go where it feels like a nice stretch for your knees. Yeah, you go on over. For your ankles, for your feet. And then slide on forward to all fours again. And right where your hands are, I want you to bring your elbows. So they're right under your shoulders, maybe slightly in front of your shoulders, palms down. And press the forearms down. This is going to feel a little odd, but I want you to do cow, cat here. So think cow and cat on your elbows. You'll feel stretches in different places. And just keep moving through those two poses with your breath. Just kind of noticing, feeling. And then when you're evened out, I want you to think, broaden the clavicles so your shoulders are really engaged. Stretch your right foot long, stretch your left foot long, and come to elbow plank. You have to really press your forearms, your hands, your elbows down. Keep broadening the clavicles, feeling really connected through the shoulders. You can do this on your knees as well. So it'd be a knee plank, because we're going to hold it for a little bit. Try not to let your shoulders come in front of your elbows. And hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Lower your knees. Take a moment, your knees down. And then, you really like me, don't you guys? And curl your toes under and just lift your knees to a dolphin pose. So it's like downward facing dog on your elbows. You can bend your knees a lot if that helps. Sits bones up and back. Nice, good. You can bend one knee and the other. That feels good. Good, and then lower down to your knees and take a child's pose again. This time just stack your hands under your forehead. Take a little rest. And please slide forward onto your bellies, all the way forward. And bring your hands back by your hips, palms down. And bring your forehead to the mat. Draw your rib cage back. So the low ribs drop back. You can lift the shoulders up just a little bit so you feel connected there by pressing the hands down. And then just the feet and legs, lift those up. Make sure they're like hip distance apart. Will that work? Good, and then set the feet down. Slide the arms to a cactus position. And then just think to yourself, I'm going to lift the shoulders, the hands, the head up off the ground. The feet stay down. Rib cage is back. Lengthening of the spine. See if you can breathe in this position. And release down. If you can notice everything relax on every exhale. And then stretch your hands back by your hips so the palms face in. And now we're going to lift everything. So think long side body, head of the arm bones back, rib cage back, long back of neck as I lift my head, my shoulders, my hands, and my feet for full Shalabhasana or locust pose. And you know when you need to come down, just kind of play with warming up those back muscles, glutes, hamstrings, calves, and release down. Bring your hands by your chest and pressing your feet down just 3 times, lift to a little mini cobra on the inhale.
Lisa, we are not getting any audio or video.
Video.
Can you hear me
So
now?
yes,
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Can,
now
can you see me now?
Yes.
yes. It just all kind of stopped when you were in the whatever locust pose.
I thought we were holding that a long time.
Yes, me too.
Okay, sorry guys. I don't know what's going on with my internet today. I got everybody else in child's pose, so.
I
Okay.
thought we'd still be holding locust pose.
So come on up to all fours, everybody. Sorry about this. I don't know why. Connie said she switched to T-Mobile. That's a really good idea. So grab your blocks, bring them under your hands, and come on back up to a downward facing dog. I haven't had troubles for so long. I've gotten spoiled. And just bend one knee and the other in a little bit higher downward facing dog. And then see what happens if you extend your right leg. And then step it all the way through between the blocks. Now, if it gets caught halfway, just help it up there. Good. Or move the blocks back. And just take a moment to feel deep lunge. I want you to see, do your heel and sits bones line up on both sides? Just lift your back heel and lower it a couple times. Just Feeling that out. Good. And then go ahead and lower your back knee. Hug to the midline. Bring your hands to the front thigh. Let's see if you feel stable. Your right hip crease should be in the same line as your left hip crease. And stretch out that left hip flexor. And maybe stretch your arms up if you're feeling stable to Anjane Asana. Good, and then touch down. Slide your hips back. You can use your blocks to straighten your right leg. And again, think my right hip and heel are lined up. My left hip and heel are lined up. You feel a nice stretch on the back side of your leg. Remember, your blocks have even higher heights, if that feels better. And actually, everyone, grab your blocks and bring them to that higher height. And then keep walking the blocks back till it feels like you're almost upright. And then keeping your left hand on the block, bring your right hand to your hip. And then just kind of lean back and open your heart. This is a really deep stretch. You can stretch your toes. Good. And come on back up. And walk back forward as you bend the knee. Oh, that was fun. Good. Lift the back knee. Stay super stable. Sweep your right arm up and open up for a little twist. And retrace back to the block. Good. Step your right foot back. Downward facing dog. And then please extend your left leg. And as you do, think of bringing your knee towards your nose and coming forward more to a plank so you feel your core engage to step it through. Deep one. See if that works any better. Lift and lower the right heel a few times, just kind of warming everything up, noticing the left hip crease in line with the right. Its bones and heels lined up. And then go ahead and lower the right knee. Hug the knee forward, the heel back, so you stay really grounded, and then bring your hands to your front thigh. Just feel a stretch in your right hip crease. Get Artemis all settled down. Stretch your arms if it feels like you're stable enough. Anjane Asana. Good, and touch down. Slide the hips back, use the blocks, just walk back, straightening the leg, noticing if everything's lined up. Feeling a deep stretch. And if you liked that other stretch, you can do it. I'm gonna attempt it. I'm stretching my left toes long. I'm leaning back. Maybe you're feeling stable enough, you can bring the right hand to your heel. It's like a half camel. Woo! Good. And then come on forward, bend back into the front knee. Lift the back knee. In deep lunge, sweep your left arm up and open up for a little twist. And sweep the hand back down. And please step forward. You might have to take several steps to a forward fold. Let your head shake out. Inhale, pranam. Extend your spine long, feel grounded. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Stretch up and long. And bring hands through heart center. Good. Let's just keep going. Sweep your arms up. And fold forward. Pranam. And fold. Step your right foot back to a deep lunge and ground that back foot down. Good. And then I'm going to have you bring your left block and hand to the inside of the left foot and then just kind of walk them out to an angle. So your right foot's grounded, your left foot's pointing straight ahead and grounded. Your thigh is pointing the same direction as your toes. And then you're just going to walk out like a down dog arms, or down, I call this down dog lunge. Feel the back foot grounded. Yeah, nice, you guys. And then just walk the blocks back in. Wiggle your left foot to the left a little bit. Turn your right heel up. So your hands are right under your shoulders, but your left leg and knee are kind of off to the side a little bit. And then lower your right knee. You feel kind of like a frog. Your left knee's off to the side. Yeah. Now I want you to make sure your spine is long and pointing straight ahead and lengthening. And if this feels good and you want more stretch, you can lower to your elbows. Or not. You decide. You don't want to wake up tomorrow and be mad at me, Teresa. So overstretching not advised. Couple breaths here. They say that if you stay in a pose for at least 90 seconds, you can feel your muscles lengthening out. So sometimes when you first get there, your muscles are going, whoa, 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 whoa. And then as you breathe into it, they soften and lengthen a little bit more. Good. And then come on back up to your hands, lift your back knee and step back. Down dog. And then slowly you can cross step if you want to, walk your feet up between your hands and blocks, forward fold. When you're there, inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweep all the way up. And exhale, hands through heart center. And we have another side to do. So inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pranam. And exhale, fold. Step your left foot back to deep lunge. Ground that foot down. And then take your right block, walk it to the inside. Make sure your knee's pointing straight ahead. And then walk those blocks out to an angle. Down dog lunge. If it feels better for you to keep the blocks right under your shoulders, feel free. Just feel that stretch. Sits bones stay back. Big stretch. And walking the blocks back in. Wiggle, turn your left heel up first. Wiggle your right foot off to the right. And then move your blocks so they're right under your shoulders. And just be mindful, make sure your kneecap, your toes, your thigh kind of point the same direction. Then lower your back knee. This is called a humble pose because it's humbling. Nice long spine. And maybe lower to the elbows if that's appropriate, or you get to decide. Just breathe into your right hip and foot and knee. One more breath. And then coming back up on your hands, lift your back knee and step back. Downward facing dog. Just, if you can do this without lowering down to your knees, you can set your blocks off to the side for a moment. Come to regular down dog. Just kind of feel it out. And then come forward to plank. If you need to lower your knees first, do stabilize your shoulders and lower to the ground. Inhale, come on up to cobra. Exhale, lower down. And push back to all fours so you can grab your blocks again and come to downward facing dog. And walk your feet up to your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, one more sun salute. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Good. Step the left foot back to deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Make sure you're grounded through all parts of your feet. And then come up to a warrior two. Yeah, make sure your knee's not in front of your ankle, so you're wide enough that it's not. And you can move a little bit if it feels good. Good. Straighten your front leg. And pause there. Think really connected core and spine. Draw the low belly up. Keep the sits bones back. And then maybe fold forward to triangle. You can grab your knee, your shin, the blocks there if you want that. Yeah. There you go. Straighten your right leg, Teresa. Yeah. So, yeah. So triangle. There you go. Your blocks there if you need it. Good. One more breath. And pretend like I'm pulling on your wrist to have you come back up. and bend into warrior two again. Feel your back foot really grounding you, even though your weight's a lot on your front foot. See if you can use that back one to ground you, and then windmill down, touch the blocks, turn the back heel up. Good. Step forward. Take a moment. And then please step your left or right foot back to deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Take your time, really feeling grounded through the legs and feet. If you drew a line from your heel, it would either bisect your opposite heel or maybe right in the arch. And then you'll feel more stable. Warrior two. Move a little. It's a dancing warrior today. Feels good in my hips. Find that back foot really grounded. Straighten the front leg. And just kind of lean forward, keeping the spine super long to triangle pose. Shin, block, or floor, you decide. Breathing, you don't have to look up. You can look wherever it feels good on your neck, but keep the back of the neck long. Feel the right shoulder on the back. So if your right armpit's hollowed out, it feels better. Good. Pretend like I'm pulling on your wrist. Come back up, bend into the front knee. Warrior two. Check your core. And then windmill down. Turn the back heel up. This time step back, downward dog. Inhale, come to plank on the blocks. Pause there. Broaden your clavicles, lengthen through the top of your head. Push back, downward dog. Set the blocks off to the side. Come to your hands. I'll give you a choice, either child's pose or you can do a vinyasa with me. You're doing vinyasa, come forward to plank, lower to the mat. Inhale to a nice sweet cobra. Exhale down. And then everyone push back to child's pose. And see what happens if you bring your hands so your fingers point back kind of by your feet. And then see, maybe you can even find your heels. And then just push up so you're on your knees and you're rolling to the top of your head. And you can feel a little stretch in your shoulders. You can either press the hands down or grab the feet. Good, and then sit all the way back again. Let your shoulders relax. Kind of drip forward. And then make your way to all fours. Curl your toes under. And sit back on your heels for a moment. Just to stretch out your feet. And come forward, grab your blocks, come to downward facing dog. And just slowly walk your feet up to your hands, forward fold. And set your blocks in front of you. And then slowly just go one vertebra at a time, stacking your vertebrae on top of each other to come on up to standing. You doing okay? So far, so good. It's like riding a bike, right? Well, I know the feeling. Okay, so standing on your right foot, bring your left knee forward. Just bring your arms out for balance. Good. And bring it down. Just kind of play with this balance idea. Switch. Stand on the left foot. Bring the right knee up. And bring it down. Good. Back to the first side. Bring standing on the right foot. Just feel your core. That's where the balance comes into play. Bring the left knee up. And then slowly lean forward as you bring the foot back behind you. Now, you might have to step that back foot down several times or bring your hands to your front knee with the knee bent. I want you to come forward. Your blocks are there to a warrior three. And then step it back, crescent. So just kind of take your time, bringing that foot back, hands on the front thigh, till you feel stable in crescent. So back heel's lifted, hips are even, stretch up, crescent warrior. I had to give you one really big challenge. Now bring your hands to your heart center. Shift forward so the hips stay even. Shift your weight into the right foot and lift back into warrior three. And then bring the foot in for a landing and come on up. Woohoo! Good job. Let's shift sides. So have your arms wherever it feels good for balance. That's always my big desire, is to feel balanced. So shift your weight to your left foot, lift the right knee. Slowly bring it back. I like to bend my left knee as I'm doing this. So this standing knee, I can bring my hands there. And then when I maybe pause in warrior three, maybe not. And then step it back to crescent. Yeah. Stretch your arms up. Don't let your left hip crease come forward. Everything's lined up. Hands to heart center. Just kind of reverse it. Think really strong core. Slowly shift the weight to your left foot. Lift the right. And bring it in for a landing because I'm falling out. I was going to have you do lift, bring it forward and down, but my legs are too tired. Good. Stretch your arms up and fold forward. And step your feet back to downward facing dog. And lower your knees. And grab your blanket, come to a seated position. And just stretch your legs out in front of you. And here's my little box elder bug friend. He's really been staying with me. You're going outside after class. Okay, so with your legs stretched out in front of you, you decide if you need to have a little baby bend in your knees or not. Bend your right knee and just set the heel right in front of your sits bone. Interlace and pull back and up and see how tall you can get. Now, if this feels pretty easy, you can attempt to bring the foot to the other side, but the foot has to stay flat. And then just see if you can keep that nice long spine. And then maybe grab the knee with your right or your left elbow. Right hand comes behind you for a little twist. So every inhale, think tall and long through the spine. And maybe on the exhale, you can twist a little deeper. Good. And then coming back to center, just twist the opposite way just for a moment to even things out. And then come back to center. And bring the ankle across the thigh. You can support yourself with your hands. Get a nice tall spine. Draw the low belly up, sits bones stay back, rib cage stays back. And then you can open that hip a little more. I always keep this foot super active so then I don't overstretch my knee or my hip. Couple breaths. And then unwind. Shake that leg out. You don't have to be on the blanket if it doesn't feel good. You can come off if you have open enough hamstrings. So hinge the left knee, bring it in line, interlace, pull back and up. You feel super strong and long in your core. Bring it across if it feels okay. And then maybe initiate the twist. Notice the back of your neck even. Is it long? And then come on out, twist the other direction. Just momentarily come back to center and bring the ankle across the thigh. Stabilize. Think, okay. I want to keep the little bit of a curve because the natural curve in my low back, really feel the sits bones down. Feel a nice long spine, throw long through the back of the neck. And then when I kind of challenge my knee to open further, it feels really good and it feels like the stretch is just in that hip, hopefully, and not in the knee. Good, and then shake that leg out and just slide forward on your mat off your blanket and come on down to your backs. And just hug your knees in for a moment. And just kind of bring them side to side. Just kind of keep the back stable. Just sway the knees side to side. Good, and then pause. Kind of push the knees away from you so you feel that low, maybe a little curve in your low back so it's not pressed, but then draw your belly button towards your spine. Lift your shins so you're in tabletop. Lift your hands to the outside of your knees, and then think really long back of neck as I lift the head and the shoulders. And then just kind of do little, like move an inch or so, trying to reach forward. Keep the core really strong. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Hug the knees in again. And place the feet on the mat, hip distance apart. Hands by your hips. Shoulders underneath. Just press up to a little Setu Bandha. It'll feel good to go the opposite direction. So hips are lifted, long back of neck, heart's lifted. Good. And then just articulate coming down. So press the upper back, middle back, low back, and sacrum down, and then find that curve again. Bring your arms to cactus. Bring your feet a little wider on the mat, so right at the edge of the sticky mat. And bring your left knee towards your right ankle, but keep the right knee up for this variation. Just notice that. And then bringing the left knee up, lower the right knee towards the left ankle. And switch again. And last time, switch. Back up, and then just bring the feet close together. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let the knees open wide. This time, maybe bring your hands on your rib cage. You can feel the breath moving in and out in Supta Baddha Konasana. Bringing the knees back together. Stretch out for Shavasana. You need to cover up. So Shavasana is our resting pose. So stretch your legs long. If your blocks are in the way, just kick them out of the way. And tune into your breath. Every exhale gives you an opportunity to just let go, relax something. You just kind of scan from head to toe. Relax your jaw. Notice your shoulder blades, all the muscles around your shoulders. So the shoulder blades should feel kind of flat on the floor. Allow everything else to relax deeply around the shoulders. Relax your belly. Relax your kneecaps. Relax the soles of your feet. Allow the floor to support you fully. As you rest, I just want to share a story called The Cracked Pot. A water bearer in India had two large pots, each hung on each end of a pole, which he carried across his neck. One of the pots had a crack in it, and while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water at the end of the long walk from the stream to the master's house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For a full 2 years, this went on daily, with the bearer delivering only 1.5 pots of water in his master's house. The perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, perfect to the end for which it was made, but the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it was able to accomplish only half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be a bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer one day by the stream. "I am ashamed of myself, and I want to apologize to you." "Why?" asked the bearer. "What are you ashamed of?" "I have been able for these past 2 years to deliver only half my load because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your master's house. Because of my flaws, you have to do all this work and you don't get full value from your efforts," the pot said. The water bearer felt sorry for the old cracked pot, and in his compassion he said, "As we return to the master's house, I want you to notice the beautiful flowers along the path." Indeed, as they went up the hill, the old cracked pot took notice of the sun warming the beautiful wildflowers on the side of the path, and it cheered it some. But at the end of the trail, it still felt bad because it had leaked out half its load, and so again it apologized to the bearer for its failure. The bearer said to the pot, "Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path, but not on the other pot's side? That's because I have always known about your flaw, and I took advantage of it. I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back from the stream, you've watered them. For 2 years, I've been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my master's table. Without you being just the way you are, he would not have had this beauty to grace his house." The moral of the story is each of us has our own unique flaws. We're all cracked pots. But we can embrace it because that's what makes the world beautiful, makes us beautiful. A few more Rumi quotes. Remembering the wound is the place where the light enters you. If everything around you looks dark, look again. You may be the light. A candle never loses any of its light while lighting up another candle. Beginning to notice the breath still moving in and out. I'll think of it as an energizing breath. So with each inhale, it brings energy in, spurts it out. Perhaps start to make small movements with fingers, toes, head. When you're ready, draw your knees in and just roll to your right side when you just take your time. And push on up to seated. Bring hands to heart center. Thank all of you crackpots for putting up with my stuff today. I bow to that golden light that shines out from each of you. Namaste. Sorry about the internet problems too, guys, online. I'm gonna have to check into that.